Greetings, this is me again, Zahra Bazar. Quite shocked. So I'm unqualified or something. Dr. Khalil Andani, this is what he said. Thank God I missed the live stream on a Christian channel notification. I didn't see it. I've put my phone on silence and put the notifications on. But later on, I watched Dr. Khalil Andani with David Wood. So later on, um, in the end, what Dr. Khalil Andani says that to the channel, so the Christian channel, that his advice is to, go for take for interviews qualified academicians, religious scholars, and all. And we are then I don't know what he means by that, but apparently, what it means does it mean that those who have learned on their own should not be preferred at all, should not be heard? So that was the academic arrogance of Dr. Khalil Andani and Ismaili. Oh God, okay, there's some. I have to come right now because then I might later on come, but I might not be able to come later on. So I'll have to come much later after the prayers and all this are over on the loudspeaker. Okay, there are these children playing outside. Oh, okay. I'm a self learner, and I would give voice to those who have not been in Harvard and other, or gone to Qom or Najaf to study. They have self learned. I would prefer to give a voice to them too, because a lot of religious scholars have messed it up, and what Dr. Khalil Andani uh, doesn't see. He's very naive or very I don't know that the Islamic religious scholars have called each other kafirs, disbelievers, and all this. So what about those religious scholars? So what does it boil down to? Like, what religious scholars, which religious scholars should be preferred and brought to have a voice? And, you know, so I don't know about this Christian channel too. I checked and I feel like a Shia Christian alliance going on against others. And check out the polytheism. Okay, so this particular thing was on crucifixion, whether Jesus was crucified on some I don't know what Christian channel, apparently Christian channel. I don't know where this person comes from. So whether we can trust the channel to be Christian or not, because there are a lot of disguises on YouTube. So we can take that Christian channel. But I don't trust anyone. And so I didn't even comment, although the channel, I said it's futile. I mean, they could be like, I don't know what it is. I felt it was really cunning thing. So I'm not going to comment them. Cunning against, I can't trust these people. Religious, like, what's this? Give preference to religious scholars and not those people who have self-learned? Academic religious scholars, like qualified, not even the unqualified. So according to Dr. Khalil Andani, I don't know what that means. Anyways, his recent live stream with Dr. David Wood in some other person's channel. If it was on his channel, I would have commented. But a third party, why should I comment? That I don't trust. And anyways, I don't now trust Dr. Khalil Andani either. So very disappointing. So this is my personal opinion about Dr. Khalil Andani and the things going on YouTube. Now I'm going to come to the polytheists. So there's an ayat here, and like if you say they broke treaties and read in context and all this, uh, then stuck 29 is it? Against the polytheists. Those who do not believe in Allah and the last day, even though they were given the scriptures, and who do not hold as unlawful, oh no, fight against that. No, where's the one with those who are nijjas, the polytheists? I mean, there's no room in the Quran for live and let live and practice your own religion, tolerance. Because of this verse, look at this. The polytheists are, if you are following me, very few people. I believe in also you can self-learn, and please don't give me a hard time here. Be honest. Stick to the Quran scriptures. 28. So yeah, so it's not 29. I just missed it by one. So, O you who have believed, indeed the polytheists are unclean. So let them not approach Al-Masjid al-Haram after this, the final year. And if you fear privation, Allah will enrich you from His bounty if He wills. So I don't know what the people's agenda is. My agenda is to see the truth, distinguish it from untruth. Please cooperate. And be honest. So from this ayat I gathered that a God, polytheism is an unforgivable sin. From this ayat in Surah Tawbah I also gathered, from the other ayats, killing and all this, so the Muslims say, well, you have to read those ayats in context. But now would Allah allow polytheists? Okay, so if this Kaaba was before Abraham's, the gods came, the idols came in, and now would you allow, after the idols have come in for so many years? Yeah, it's like acquiescence. God allowed these idols now to be, because the Jews were there, the Christians were there. No one objected to this until this Prophet Muhammad came, and it's Allah. So there's a law on acquiescence. Law on acquiescence. I don't know if it applies to, In law, acquiescence occurs when a person knowingly stands by without raising any objection to the infringement of their rights, while someone else unknowingly and without malice aforethought acts in a manner inconsistent with their rights. So why didn't the Muslims consider this? for, like, they had their idols now for the polytheists who have now had their idols in either these people are every time, either it's the children or it's the prayers or goodness, what they've given me here. Quite a challenge. Wherever the Muslims are, we get a challenge. So I'm going to put the window, close the window, put it, how to put it. So very clever, cunning people. You know your English, you know you've learned. And you want to put those people who can't talk properly behind and not hear their voices and not regard them, not respect. I mean, you don't want to give their rights. You want to curb their rights. Now, I've self-learned. See, this is like self-learning. Seems like people like Andani want to snatch away the rights, our rights. People like me who have self-learned, who are struggling to show no regard for other, someone suffering, to reach out and give them a voice, okay? They also have a voice. So very good what the Shias have done now with the Christians to try to discourage us. I was feeling so low and terrible. It's like, so we won't get a platform here in this Christian channel after what Dr. Khalil Andani has requested, Capturing Christian channel to do. We won't get a chance. They won't give us a chance. Self-learners and unqualified. So as an unqualified person, what does it matter to Dr. Khalil Andani? Sorry, excuse me. I mean, what does he mean? That you should give preference to qualified academicians, right? Could it mean that those who have learned and are unlearning what we were told here by different various schools of thought, Sunni? So I've also looked at some of the schools of thought, maybe not like Dr. Khalil Andani. So they are, but we respect the disagreements, but it's that from what Khalil Andani says, maybe from Ismaili now the Imam may have changed. But here, I don't think from the Quran ayats that you would respect at that time, Prophet Muhammad's time. Because here we have in Surah Dhariyat, and then I would say, go straight to the Imam then. Don't even go to his religious scholars. Because if you're going, Imam who's present should be coming to each and every person who has asked him for evidence, not sending his religious scholars to us. Then they are also not qualified as Imams, the religious scholars. By this and by that, clouds and the ships warned against. Indeed, the recompense and the heavens. I mean, God swears a lot. By that, I mean, oaths taking. Deluded away from it is he who is deluded. You see this? Though only those who are averse to the truth will turn away from this, meaning turn away from this message. Destroyed are the misinformers, liars, cursed be the liars. Direct, cursed be the liars. Who are within a flood of ignorance and heedlessness. If they're confused, you can't blame them. So I don't know why they've put in brackets confused or in ghamrat. Yeah, I may not be able to pronounce this Arabic word. They ask when is the day of recompense. It is the day they will be tormented over the fire. Everyone, perhaps we can take a different religious scholars. I don't know what the Imam say about this. It will be a day when they will be tried. Maybe the fire. Maybe these politics. This person is in the fire of hell, tasting hell, and will be told, "Taste your torment. This is that for which you were impatient." Now, I was impatient for the truth, not for hellfire. I've been impatient for the truth. Justice to prevail and things like that. Indeed, the righteous will be among the gardens and springs. So I felt that Dr. Khalil Andani was a very biased, prejudiced thing to say against against me, those who are learning. And I could be right, and the Quran experts could be wrong, the academicians could be wrong. And it could turn out to be that the polytheists are not najis, not impure. That worshipping many gods is not impurity. For their culture doesn't say it is impure, or their dharma doesn't say it's impure. And then some Indo-Pak and all these people, they've gone to the Gita and quoted from what Sri Krishna has said to Arjun, like don't worship these demigods, and I'm the one, everything comes to me, and this and that, without understanding the full. If you have, so in a way, do you think Prophet Muhammad had full knowledge, was a academician, and a full knowledge? Yeah, Allah against the polytheists, worshipping idols. So if you're going to go to give me a Hindu text, then I will go to the Greek gods. I will go to the Roman gods. But right, and what is so wrong in worshipping gods? You have your signs, they have their symbols, they have their demigods. You have your angels working for you. In Surah Takwir, you may not worship him, but that's your ingratitude, right? You chucked him out. You don't worship Jibrail. You worship the one who has with power, with God. Surah Takwir ayat. So this, you've chucked him out. You say, no, we don't worship anyone, we only worship Allah. But there are the polytheists who say we worship Allah alone and we seek their intercession. And maybe for them it's like it's like worship. Everything is worship. Having a leader, obeying him is worship. So, like in Surah Zumar, you see, they don't distinguish the worship rituals. Everything is contained in this, that they worship. It doesn't mean partners with God. Also, it's actually God they worship, but you don't, it's actually the whole comes in a package. Worship could mean for them, they don't divide worship. Like obeying Prophet Muhammad for them would be worship of God. If but I do say, right, obey Allah and obey the Prophet. So that's worship. They don't divide the worship. They don't divide it and say we don't worship Prophet Muhammad, we don't worship, but we worship our awliya. Now, what actually is worship? Also, look at that. If we can find Tawheed. So, you've made Tawheed very difficult, but like, okay, but Tawheed, oneness of Allah. These many gods, these divisions, these personal gods they have, Ishtadevas. Now, the Greek gods are, yeah, yes, they're gone. What was that word? Extinct now. But I would still go there. I would go there. If the Hindus reject, all of them, you can turn into Christians and Muslims. I would go to the one which is not being practiced. Because what is being practiced now, I see that it's deception. By majority of people. And by the minority Shias and Ismailis and all. So here we have the ayat, unquestionably for Allah is the pure religion. And those who take protected, of course, unquestionably it is. But it's how you put it in words. You're saying that they worship their protectors. So what is the Quran ayat saying? They worship them, not to give them money and all this, but to bring them nearer to Allah in position. Where Jibrail perhaps was. Surah Takwir ayat 19 to 20, 21. Obeyed. So they may not be making a distinction, and you're making a distinction for them. About worship, what is ibadat? All in all, it comes back to one God, the true God. And for them, you're saying they worship them. And they're saying we only worship them that they may bring us nearer to Allah in position. Although I've heard Hindus have this Lakshmi Devi, and she's a providence, they can work, but they offer their everything. Everything is to God. Wealth, everything. And they live because the gods want them to live a wealthy, happy life. And if they want Shiva, or they can go to Shiva. Live a sannyasi or like Shiva lived and all this, a life. It's only your perspective, your Allah's, that this polytheism is impure and they're worshipping other than Allah, protectors, taking protectors. You didn't take protectors other than Allah. Surah Maida ayat 55. The only thing is that they don't make idols of it, of Prophet Muhammad and the righteous who bow, who gives zakat and bows down and gives zakat. And the Shia say that was Imam Ali. So this is unfair. In which context? You're going to read it in the context that The Imams give you to read this ayat? Or the religious scholars, various religious scholars, Sunni school of thought, Wahhabis, Shia, Ismaili, Bori. It's your tafsirs, it's your context, not their context, not from their context. So even if you tell me to read Surah Tawbah like in context, it's in your context, your religious scholars, your imams, my previous imams that I believed in, not their context. You're actually not doing a justice by telling me to read these things, these ayats in context, your Islamic history. Consider this also. And then why don't you consider this ayat from Surah Tawbah? Is it fair? Eventually, like here, this part of the ayat doesn't say they broke treaties or anything. The other ayats you will show me that look, if you make friends with them, they are the ones who caused enmity. If they had the upper hand, they would want you to become polytheists, leave this religion. But if you, when you have the upper hand, what would you want them to become? Muslims, right? Now this is a separate ayat against the polytheists. They haven't broke treaties. They are not attacking you. It says, "O you who have believed, surely the associators are only an impurity, so they should not come near the inviolable mosque." Now this is not even about that Abraham made this house, the inviolable mosque, and it's for them. This ayat is purely on the associators with those who associate others with Allah are only an impurity. So they should not come near the inviolable mosque after this season of theirs. And if you fear want, then Allah will eventually enrich you of His grace in case He so decides. Surely Allah is ever knowing, ever wise. So now the Arabs may say that we have oil. Makkah, you got oil there. Fight against those who do not believe in Allah or in the last day and do not consider unlawful what Allah and His Messenger have made unlawful. And who do not, well, here the Shia say that you should read in context. If the Imams want their men to fight, the Mu'minin believers, you should read all this in context. But I disagree with the Shias also. And this is for that time when, the Ismailis have their own reason behind this, that actually it shouldn't even be in a book. It should be only a recital in the hearts of those who have knowledge. Revelation, recital, in the form of recital, not in the form of book. So, but they were allowed, who do not adopt the religion of truth from those who were given the scripture until they give the jizya willingly while they are humble. So I've done this ayat. Now this, where else does it say, if these, if it's, so You see, you may be worried, you may be worried about protecting your religion, your security, all this, not giving any regard to the ones who have learned self-knowledge, who, giving them a voice, encouraging them, giving them confidence. So your dishonesty, your bias, your uh, pride is like, it gets to me. So if this thing really, because you see, you're doing injustice to those other people and me. How many have been religious scholars, Sunni religious scholars, and been rejected by Ismailis, Shias, 12 Shias? And how many, Shias, 12 Shias have rejected Ismaili Imam completely, right? So respecting each other, and even though we disagree, now the Imam may come, Ismaili Imam may say that this, and his representative can say this, Ismaili. But at the time of Prophet Muhammad, this was not the case. This Kaaba was made by Abraham, and these polytheists first were told they broke the treaty, and they expelled the messenger, and they expelled and tortured the Muslims also. So when the inviolable months are over, then kill them wherever you find them. At least they gave Prophet Muhammad a chance to run away. So yeah, here we're told they can leave, they can run. But if they stay, but it says, like, you see, the ayat, it doesn't say, it says wherever you find them, you kill them. Noteworthy, Makkans, polytheists, didn't go after Prophet Muhammad, pursuing him in Yathrib, where he took refuge, to kill him there and say, you see, wherever you find the Muslim, now the polytheists are like, oh my God, these Muslims, we have the right, they will. So they made the mistake, and they were killed later on. They made the mistake by not killing Prophet Muhammad and the Muslims. And they were killed. You see, here. So there've been these Ismailis, Dr. Khalil Andani type, and other Shias also, 12 Shias, who will say, we don't have a say. Like, you should not take interviews with those, and respect, and this and that. Well, I wasn't the first one to personally attack people unless I see that they are being dishonest now, and it's too much for me. And please, I've said my condition is like, help me. Don't, take advantage of my weakness, and but first feeling sorry for me and saying you really care and all this, and then you dishonesty that I saw in Kalthofer. Okay, this is a declaration. So what was I saying? With treaties with whom you have contracted mutual alliance, so travel freely throughout the land 4 months. But no, throughout the land. But know that you cannot cause failure to Allah, and Allah will disgrace the disbelievers. Okay, ayats I'm reading without numbering them. And it is an announcement from Allah and His Messenger to the people on the day of the greater pilgrimage that Allah is disassociated from the disbelievers, and so is His Messenger. So if you repent, that is best for you. What? Repent about what? That you expelled Prophet Muhammad out of Makkah and the Muslims, you tortured and confiscated their property, didn't give them their property when they migrated, we're told, and all this. They left Makkah to Medina, Yathrib. What is that? Repent. If you turn away, then know that you will not cause failure to Allah, and give tidings to those who disbelieve of a painful punishment. Repent also for what? Breaking the treaty? Peace treaty or what treaty? Whatever treaty you made with these. Accepted are those with whom you made a treaty among the polytheists. And then they have not been deficient toward you in anything or supported anyone against you. So complete for them the treaty until that term has ended. Indeed, Allah loves the righteous. If you're fifth, now I would say this because I stress on this. And when the inviolable months have passed, then kill the polytheists wherever you find them and capture them and besiege them and sit and wait for them at every place of ambush. Please try to understand this ayat. Not even Dr. Khalil Andani with his special Harvard and other educational qualified will be able to show you this, how unjust this is. Not even those ulamas who have spent years in Najaf have done their doctorates. Look at this, very simple logic. Who will tell you this? You see, the polytheists, when they had the upper hand in the beginning, the Muslims were very few. Were they told by their gods to do this, no Muslim would have been alive. Very few. Maybe afterwards, right? One or two, and hypocrites, they would have said, yes, yes, we are polytheists. Had they done this to them, but what your Allah, Muslims Allah, the Islamic Allah is telling you to do, pass, then kill the polytheists wherever you find them, wherever you find them. It's not in a battlefield. What the Shias were told, when all avenues of peace are, then Imam Hussein rose to save his religion. Wherever you find them and capture them and besiege them and sit and wait for them. And remember what I told you earlier on in this live stream. Taking your tafsirs. How have you taken your tafsirs and saying read this in context? Even if I read this in context, this ayat is enough for a true truth seeker. You say, when we, what do? We go neutral when we are doing this research. The Shia say this. But have you really gone neutral? Tafsirs are from your side. Context, read in context meaning? From your side. Even the ayats we take, other ayats with this. Go to Surah Azab, Confederates. It's from your side. So I only have a little bit to tell you. And that little bit is enough for me to leave this religion. Because I see the injustice done to the polytheists of that time. You see, it doesn't matter to me. I could be Radharani, I could be the God. I could be quiet and go on with my life. Content in myself what I am. I don't have to announce it to people. I don't need to be a guru. I don't need followers. So now, here, ask yourselves if the polytheists had done this to them. You're saying they broke the treaty, they expelled Prophet Muhammad. So if you find Prophet Muhammad, it's true, like if you look at Surah Surah Tawbah at 28, the polytheists are najis. Just on that also, that they cannot remain near the Kaaba. It means inviolable mosque, whatever inviolable mosque means. But in context, we take generally what the Muslims take. You see? So now you have polytheists, wherever you find them, captured. I mean, so what I'm trying to say is that what if it was in the polytheist religion to do this? Anyone who spoke against their gods, showed disrespect to them, kill them like they tried to, we are told in the Quran ayat, Abraham, they tried to burn Abraham. You're saying from our side it's okay, we can do this. You're actually coming with a conclusion that your Allah is true, this is the true path. But what if, but they think that their gods are true. That is the true path. They feel this is nirguna. They have, from what I learned from the Hindus, not these pagans, but like these, although they were allowing Christians and Jews and all this to come to the Kaaba and worship their own way, but the Hindus have this worship of God, formless God, and worship of God with form. Two types you can do. You're allowed to do that. And when the inviolable months have passed, then kill the polytheists. Did they kill the Muslims? Like without giving them a battle? If, the Jews in Yathrib and outside Yathrib had an alliance with the, what they call the polytheists, sometimes the Quranites, hypocrites. They had an alliance. They could have easily gotten Prophet Muhammad killed. And he eventually did die. But we're told God saved him until the message, like God saved Moses, until his message was completed. So, you look at this ayat. Excuse me. Right? So all these academicians and God, this time Dr. Khalil Andani really disappointed me. What he's requested in the end, the Shias come here like they don't follow this is the way, please let us follow so we can maybe have some patience with me, see that you are rude against Imam Hussein and this and God knows what. Even now, like in the middle of nowhere, they're coming. I've got live streams from so many years. I mean, 1 year ago at least, right? So it's right for your God to say this. But you see, if you broke a treaty with them, they didn't kill you. They gave you a battlefield, maybe. A battle. They didn't kill you like this. If they had killed you, the few Muslims in the beginning, what would have happened to them? Finished. But of course, then you get the miracle. You say that this is a true religion, so Islam was saved. But think that if they were like this, what your Allah is saying, they would have been they would have finished you. Right? So today I said I'm going to prove to you, against all odds, I have these Christians with the Shias, and we have one. They have one agenda. This terrorists, extremists, and all this. They have one. I am beyond that. I have the. I would like peace. I never said violence or anything. I'm not saying violence here. Under this circumstance, I'm saying no. So can you imagine? Would I want violence in any the circumstance that we've had terrorism against Shias even? Of course not. And I wouldn't even ask for violence in what is in Surah Hashr, like break their houses. And I wouldn't even want, if I was a Shia, to agree to this. No, no, I don't want anyone's land. Where is it now? Surah Azab. Is it 26th ayat? Allah brought down from their fortresses those people of the book who had supported the invading Confederates, and cast such terror into their hearts that some of them you kill and some of them you take captive. So there also in Surah Ashur we're told that Allah cast terror into their hearts, so they broke their homes. Now these are the other ones, okay. This is another group, and you read it in your context. Because I have to see your context could be prejudiced against the polytheists. And I've seen that. Now you have a lot of terrorism here. This is all and unjust. And he caused you to inherit their land, their homes, and their properties. You see, the polytheists are going to be polytheists. Some of them you've got to allow them to be polytheists, right? Jews are going to be Jews. And you're saying they expelled us. We didn't say anything to their gods. No, no, you never insulted them, nothing. Their gods, nothing. Oh, there's a Quran ayat. Why did the Quran ayat come? Read in context. Yes, there you should read in context. Why that particular Quran ayat came. Do not revile their gods, lest they in ignorance revile the one true God, or something like that. So then the arguments, let me carry it on. He caused you to inherit their land and their homes. Had they done the same thing, what would you have called them? Thinking they are in the right. Like their religion is true religion, it will guide you properly. This is not a good religion, true, right? And he caused you, look, you not only expel them, they give you a battlefield, they ally together, but they didn't kill Prophet Muhammad. You may say they attempted assassination, their failure in attempting assassination. Things like that, very feeble. Because if they really wanted to kill Prophet Muhammad, they could have done it easily on the land. So, okay, let me just continue with this argument here. And he caused you to inherit their land and their homes and their properties, and a land which you have not trodden, you have not set foot on as yet. You will be inheriting their land, their homes, their properties, and a land which you will be inheriting that. Just imagine. Someone who has not given you a fight. Their land also you will be. Land that you have not set foot. Maybe they have, people there. It's not like bare land. What if they have people living there? They have cities, they form towns and all. And ever is Allah over all things competent. Look what your Allah has done here. So you couldn't leave Yathrib. I think they're coming to the fighting. They're giving me a battle. I fought them. Allah gave us victory. And Allah caused us to inherit their land and their homes and their properties. So if they had won and they had done similar thing, what would you have said? No, and they don't want you, right? So what would you have said? If they had won, they had inherited your land, your homes, and your properties. The Paltis said they won. They expelled Prophet Muhammad. They expelled them from their homes and confiscated their properties. They were wrong. But now your Allah is doing the same thing here. Oh my God. And who can see? A jahil, an unqualified self-learner, self-teacher sharing with you has seen that logically it's not right and even through the Islamic way. If you say the polytheists did the wrong thing, but do you think Prophet Muhammad stayed quiet? He was supposed to declare his prophethood and this religion. And from the other ayats also, we can see polytheists are najas and they will have to leave the Kaaba. That ayat also. So, he caused you to inherit their land, their homes, and their properties. Allah caused you. And so you feel you have the right because Allah caused you. I mean, then why complain against the polytheists when they had to expel Prophet Muhammad and the Muslims? Then you're expelling them from their cities. Then you're inheriting their homes, their properties, and a land which you have not trodden, which you have not set foot in. Right? So think about that. Like, it's not right for you to do. It's right for you to do this, but it's not right for the polytheists to do that. It's clear from Surah Tawbah also, that other one. This is Surah Azab ayat. That the polytheists are najas and they will not remain. Polytheists, wherever you find them, capture them, besiege them. This also, surely Allah has succored you before. Where's that? Polytheists are najas. Then Allah sent down. So you will not, where is it now? Surah Tawbah. Polytheists are najas. Not only that they broke the pact and all this treaty with you and expelled the messenger and all this, but they are najas. And it is unforgivable sin to have partners with Allah. It is not for the polytheists to maintain the mosque of Allah while they openly profess disbelief. Their deeds are void and they will be in the fire forever. Oh, where's that one? The polytheists are najas. Right? Okay, I have to go now. Sorry, the prayer thing and all this starts. Okay, thank you very much. I will continue later. Thank you for the likes, very few likes. Yes, I am an unqualified academician, self learner.